I would put this in the category of robotic lawn mowers for small to medium-sized yards. It is best for anyone who wants a consistently tidy lawn without spending afternoons pushing a heavy mower around. If you like the look of deliberate, straight mowing lines and you are comfortable planning a one-time boundary wire layout, this fits that lifestyle really well. Let me talk about how it looks and what matters for daily use. The shell is a matte gray that hides dust and grass stains, and the shape is compact enough that it can park beside a shed or along a fence without getting in the way. The main unit feels sturdy but not clunky. I can lift it with one hand when I need to move it for cleaning. The charging base has a low profile that is easy to tuck next to a walkway. On the unit, the controls are simple. There is a start and stop interaction, a height adjustment that I control in the mobile application, and a clear indicator light so I can tell at a glance if it is charging or ready. What I appreciate most is that nothing on the outside feels fragile. The bumpers have a little give, the wheels have enough tread to grip on damp grass without shredding the lawn, and the underside is easy to rinse off after a muddy day. Setup is where I was a little nervous, because this mower relies on a boundary wire to define the mowing area. In the box, you get about 180 meters of wire, a bunch of pegs, connectors, screws, a small cardboard ruler, and a manual that actually helps. I had not laid boundary wire before. The mobile application walks you through the plan in plain language, and that made a difference. I took a Saturday morning, walked the perimeter of the yard, and pinned down the wire every few feet. The cardboard ruler sounds silly, but it helped me keep a consistent offset along patios and flower beds. It is not hard, but it does take patience. For my space, which is right around the middle of what this mower is rated for, the wire and pegs included were enough. I will say this clearly. If you rush the wire, you pay for it later with odd behavior at edges. Getting it right the first time is worth the extra hour. Pairing the mower with the mobile application was straightforward. It joined my home wireless network without fuss, and the application immediately recognized the charging base and the mower. I named the mower, set the cutting height, and started a guided first run. The application shows a simple real-time progress view, which made that first afternoon feel less like guesswork and more like watching a plan unfold. Core performance is where this thing earned my trust. Many robot mowers wander randomly and eventually cover everything. This one behaves differently. It uses the boundary wire as a reference and then mows in deliberate, organized lines. The company claims it is up to 300% more efficient than random mowers. I cannot measure that exactly, but I can tell you this. My yard is done faster, the pattern is neat, and it does not keep reworking the same area over and over. When it encounters a narrow passage, it slows down, threads through, and then resumes its line pattern. That alone makes the lawn look like a person planned it. Cut quality is consistent. I set the height in the mobile application anywhere from about 1.18 inches up to about 2.766 inches. I like a slightly higher cut during hot weeks, and I dial it down when the weather cools. There is no fiddling with blade collars or tools. I press a button in the application, and on the next pass it trims to that height. The clippings are fine enough that they disappear into the lawn and act like mulch, which has helped the grass look thicker after a few weeks of regular schedules. Battery life on my unit is good for about 70 minutes of mowing before it steers itself back to the dock. It tops off and then resumes automatically if there is still work to do. I do not babysit it. Noise is impressively low. It is quieter than my old string trimmer by a wide margin. I can take a phone call on the patio while it is working a few yards away, and the person on the other end does not ask what that sound is. At night, I schedule it for early morning and late afternoon runs, and it has not bothered anyone. Terrain handling surprised me. My yard has a few slopes and a couple of uneven zones near tree roots. The mower is rated to handle hills up to 45%, which is roughly a 24-degree angle. I put it on my steepest stretch. It slowed as it climbed, held its line, and when it met a divot, it pivoted, backed up a little, and tried a smarter angle instead of spinning its wheels. On wet grass, it is careful, and the rain sensor means it heads back to the charger when showers start, then resumes when it is dry enough. That is the behavior I want, because sliding around on wet slopes just tears up the turf. A few real-world observations stood out during the first month of use. On the very first run, it missed a tight inside corner around a raised bed. I nudged the boundary wire a few inches outward in that spot, and the next pass was perfect. It does not cut right up against certain edges, especially where the landscaping curves in and out with fancy shapes. I still do a quick trim along those borders every other week. That takes about 10 minutes. In exchange, I'm not walking the whole yard behind a gas mower in the heat. Safety is solid. I tested it by stepping into its path. It stopped, paused, turned, and chose another line. The blades are tucked well under the body, and it is quick to stop when it bumps into a toy or a dog ball. One of my favorite features is the boundary wire break detection. I have a curious dog that loves to dig, and during week 2, the mower stopped, and the application warned me the perimeter wire had a break. The application indicated the approximate location on the map. I walked to that section, found the nick, used the included connector, and I was back in business in a few minutes. Not having to pull up the entire wire to find the problem is a stress saver. The other quietly smart feature is the way the mower organizes its mowing lines. Watching it create a grid across a section and then move on feels efficient rather than random. At the end of a session, the application gives a simple history. I can see how long it worked, where it focused, and it reminds me of basic maintenance like checking the blades or cleaning the sensors. I spend maybe 5 minutes a month flipping it over, brushing off the underside, rinsing gently with a hose, and making sure the wheels are clear of debris. The outer shell has handled sun and rain without fading or getting brittle so far. Here is a specific use case from my routine. I have about 500 plus square meters of grass broken into a main section and a side yard connected by a narrow gate. I set a schedule for 3 days a week, early morning before the day heats up. The mower leaves the dock on its own, threads the gate, and does the side yard first because that is where the growth is fastest. It finishes that zone, returns through the gate, and lays those tidy lines across the main lawn. Around the 70-minute mark, it docks, charges, and then comes back out to finish. When I get the notification that it is done, I walk the edges with a trimmer for a few minutes if I want that polished look. On weekends when we have friends over, I can run a quick tidy session the day before, and the lawn looks freshly manicured without me sweating for an hour. There are 2 points where expectations matter. The mower is rated for up to 900 square meters. In my experience, the sweet spot is closer to 550 square meters if you want it to keep up comfortably with growth during peak season. It can handle more, but you will see it take more charge cycles to finish. Also, the first weekend is not plug and play. Plan time for the wire layout and do it carefully. The reward is a smoother daily experience afterward. A few small touches make life easier. The rain detection means it does not grind away in a downpour. The water resistance means I can rinse dirt and clippings off the deck without tiptoeing around it. The height adjustment inside the mobile application means I can change the cut before a run if we are heading into a heat wave, and I want to leave the grass a bit taller. The real-time map view is reassuring during the first few weeks, and then it just becomes a nice way to confirm it finished on time. And if you have pets or kids, the obstacle detection and quick stop behavior feel well-tuned. After a few months of living with it, I can say this. If you have a medium-sized yard, you appreciate organized mowing lines, and you are willing to spend a morning laying a boundary wire, the ANTHBOT Pion900 delivers a dependable, low-drama routine. It saves time, it is quiet enough to run without bothering anyone, and it is gentle on the lawn. If your yard is a sprawling maze of disconnected patches or far bigger than 900 square meters, this would not be my first pick. If you want a robotic mower that respects your schedule, handles slopes responsibly, and gives you a healthy lawn without constant tinkering, this is a strong choice. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience. Thank you for watching.